Well, welcome to Give Black, Give Back Conversations. I am Kia Jarman, co-chair of Give Black, Give Back. We are a Black philanthropy initiative in collaboration with the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee. Today, we are here doing something a little bit special with our Changemakers series. Our Changemakers are those people in the community who have paved the way, they have blazed the trails, and they have shown us the path of excellence. But before we get into who our amazing and special guest is, let me tell you just a little bit more about Give Black, Give Back. We have a three-part mission. First, we are here to support those Black-led, Black-endowed funds housed at the Community Foundation. Second, we support those Black-led funds or Black-led nonprofits throughout our city, Middle Tennessee, and the state. And third, we support the community through resources and education on sustaining your philanthropy and also closing the racial wealth gap. So to get us started, let me pass it to my co-conspirator, Lisa Swift-Young.
Hello, everyone. Just wanted to really give honor to the opportunity to speak today with Ms. André Prince. She is the queen mother of Nashville Hot Chickens. She is the great grandniece of James Thornton Prince. Now, Prince's, if you don't know, has been named by Eatery as the 38 essential places to eat here in America. The James Beard Foundation gave it the American Classics designation. They've been noted in featured foodie shows, and there's even been a song written about Prince's chicken.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So, this young lady is the lady who is now running the empire for the Prince family, and so we want to introduce you to her. And so we want to kind of just get started off. Since this is about philanthropy, we want you to just share your earliest memory of giving, like how you or your family gave.
Seems as though we have given it to this idea that was created out of feelings, emotional feelings, being expressed by more than likely a lady, a woman who was scorned, being that my great uncle Thornton had been married 5 times, as the state archives has it. We have what either he created or she started, we have given to the world. Hot chicken is all over the world now. And what more can I say? It is still going on. These feelings are still being felt. And here we are.
That's great. So as far as to the community, how do you feel like the community feels about like Prince's Chicken? I know we know what it feels like, but what does it giving back to the community mean to you?
The community, hot chicken, first of all, let's get started at the beginning.
Okay.
My great uncle named the place Barbecue Chicken Shack. He acquired a building in 1936 on the corner of 28th and Jefferson. And he has, due to that first building, before the first building, I might say, it was sold out of the house. Everybody had main jobs, but this was used as a supplement to the income because nobody made enough money.
Right.
So it wasn't open until 6 o'clock in the evening and till midnight during the week, and on the weekends, Friday and Saturday. For some reason, he wanted to get everybody's attention, those getting off from work. He chose to stay open till 4 a.m. And that was totally unusual. Not that many people had cars. So how they did it, I don't know. But anyway, it got the neighborhood and the community's attention. So it was always located on the north side of town. This is the first time it's been on the side of Nashville. So, hey, I'm just trying to push it on and keep a little mom and pop place in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my goal.
That's good. I mean, that you cue up perfectly the next question about the mom and pop story and store. But there's also some more to that. You have more than one location. You have several locations, so I want you to talk about that. And I want you to talk about how you all have kept and sustained for more than 70 years. Like, how do you keep going?
Well, it's been more than, if it was the 1936, it's been
yeah.
almost
Absolutely.
86 years.
Absolutely.
And not counting the years it was sold out of the house. So I say almost 90 years.
So let's just say we're closer to 100 years. Yeah, let's just give real honor to it. I mean, closer to 100 years. Wow.
Have mercy, but mom and pop places are disappearing so fast due to big business and the way they have in acquiring loans, which we never had a loan up until recently.
Wow.
Because, hey, we couldn't get a loan. And we couldn't advertise. You know, we didn't have the money to advertise, to pay for the media to advertise. But I'm so grateful to those who are in the community and in the neighborhood, and it's spread throughout the state, throughout the United States, and throughout the world. People come from all over the place for this chicken for some reason. Of course, I'm totally indebted to those who have traveled world and mile. And here we still are, 2022. I can't believe it myself. Have mercy.
What do you think the secret is to you guys being able to have almost a 100-year legacy, like a family-owned business for 100 years? Because so many businesses don't make it, right? You know, this is for Black businesses specifically for all the reasons you cited. There's so many challenges. Why do you think you all are still here almost 100 years later?
Hot chicken, which I renamed from Barbecue Chicken Shack to Prince, giving recognition to the family name. And growing up, I remember it as being hot when my father would bring it home on Saturday nights and put that chicken, he never bought any more than 2 pieces home. And we were a family of 5. Now you can imagine how we didn't get maybe but 2 little pecks off of it before it was gone. But I remember it as being hot. Back then, it's our now mild chicken. I diversified it from the plain, mild, medium, hot, extra hot, the different divisions. And when I took over in 1980, in August of 1980, it will be 42 years that I took over. But it's a conversation piece. You're gonna talk about it. Yeah. I tell people to bring that boring dates. Those who are quiet. You know, sometimes you meet somebody and they're quiet. You bring them to the chicken shack.
They're
gonna talk. They're gonna open up. I mean, they're gonna talk about it. Yeah. So it's not a boring chicken. It's not hey, you gonna talk. So hey, I think that is what has caught the attention and has kept this in the family for all of these years, and it kept us going for all of these years, I might say. But I have to give tribute to our former mayor, Bill Purcell, who has eaten this chicken ever since he's been in Nashville, from Pennsylvania. He's from, and he told me he started eating it, I think, when he was in school at Vanderbilt. And that's been a long time ago. He has kept it in the public's limelight. He's the one that did the research. when he became director of the Kennedy Center at Harvard, he did research and he found out that we were the first in the country to do chicken hot. Chicken is all over the place. Of course, everybody eats chicken. We used to have chickens in the backyard when I was growing up. I mean, everybody did. It wasn't nothing unusual. We had chicken just about at every supper. And even at breakfast time, there's so many ways you can fix it and prepare it. So, hey, it gets your attention. You're going to talk about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. So just wanting to clarify that you all are the first to do hot chicken.
First in the country.
In the country. To do hot chicken. Just want to clarify. Just set the record straight
now,
here.
We had a customer that came to the shack one weekend from Africa, and he wanted me to know that they have a chicken called the revenge chicken in Africa. I don't know what part he was from, but that was several years ago that he told me that. And I said, wow, a revenge chicken? This is a revenge chicken.
I was going to say, I
hey! Have mercy, created out of emotions. She was expressing herself, not with words, but with feelings. She wanted somebody to feel her hurt. Yeah. And we're still feeling it.
That really speaks to what we talk about all the time, how much similarity there is within the continent of Africa and here, and how we've carried that spiritually. So I appreciate you bringing that revenge chicken there, revenge chicken here, that we are still connected, even if we don't necessarily talk about it. We just know internally that there's that connection. I'd love for you to talk about 42 years ago, because I'm curious about how the transition happened. So when you took over the business, what was that passing of the torch like within your family? Because I think other people need to understand that how you can pass that business on. And of course, now you run this business with your daughter. And talk about a little bit of that legacy piece.
Thornton Prince, who started it as a commercial business, has been deceased over 60 some odd years. When he passed, his brother Will Prince took over. After Will Prince passed, his wife Maud Prince took over. And she wanted to get out of the business. She was tired. She hadn't been that long passed. And she relayed to my mother, who was dying of breast cancer at Meharry Hospital 42 years ago, matter of fact, going on 42 years. And my mother related to me because my parents, after my divorce, were taking care of me. They were paying my main bills. Even though I was working at the Metro Courthouse in the tax assessor's office, she said, sister, if you want to continue to live the life you want, you need to take over this business. And I said, Mama, are you kidding? I never, I've only been to the business a couple of times. We didn't go as children unless it was special occasions for the family. And she said, sister, you got to take over this business. I want you to consider it. Well, I also considered my brother and my sister, who were both employed as teachers here in Nashville and Franklin. And my brother had lived in California, and he was on leave of absence in California as my mother was sick, going through her spell with cancer. And I asked them, let's all go in together and keep my brother here in Nashville. They wanted no parts of it, none whatsoever. So Mama said, you got to step out on faith. She said, everybody eats.
Yeah.
I said, wow, yes, you're right. Everybody does eat. So here I am, losing sight from the shore many times. Have mercy. Here I am.
Wow, that's a blessing. I thank you for sharing
Wow.
that. Thank you for sharing and reflecting on
Step it out.
and reflecting on that motherly wisdom.
Just Jesus.
Yeah. And you
Just Jesus.
You passed that on to your daughter.
Well, Mama didn't want us depending on federal funds, welfare, to keep us going. And so, hey, I have no regrets. But it's been some shaky moments. And due to my beautiful customers, they just kept me going. And they still keep me going. They keep lifting me up when I'm down, when I want to quit, throw in the dish towel, everything. Hey, somebody will come in and say something so kind and just, hey, pick me right back up, inspiring. Oh, have mercy.
It seems as though, so, we're just closing out Women's History Month, and this is definitely a highlight from you because we didn't know all this history from women's history and the women in your family who took the mantle, from your great uncle, but moved on and, went to, wives, and then it, went to your mother, and it went to you. Now it's coming from that standpoint. So I kind of think of, Harlem has Sylvia's, right? So that is what we know Harlem from. When you go to Harlem, you have to go to Sylvia's, and I feel like
I've been there.
You've been there, right? And so you are sort of the person here to come to. You got to come to Princess. You got to speak Miss André when you come.
Thank goodness those bills keep on going. Those bills are coming every day.
Very strong women from that standpoint who are running businesses, right? So this is, us younger ones are learning from you guys and all the struggles and things that you guys have persevered through to even still have these businesses. I mean, close to 100 years, and your legacy is 40 years of you being there. So why do you think people, what do you think is special about women business owners that people miss?
Women have always been in the background. And we're just now coming, especially Black women, are just now coming up front, pulled up front. Because I am a background person. I'm not an out front person. I'm very comfortable being in the background. But we've started so much. And it's about time we're getting recognition for it. Because it's been a long time coming. And people have made zillions of dollars on what we have started. In the background. So to get this recognition is such an honor. It's gratifying. But we just keep on chugging along because we were conditioned to denial. And we work with what we had and have and keep on pushing our children, trying to create an example and set an example for them to move on throughout this world full of changes. And you gotta go with the flow. Keep on moving on. Make something out of those lemons.
Yeah. Well, expand on that a little bit. What would you tell the next generation of business owners, women business owners, Black women business owners? As you mentioned, you've gone through a great trial and great triumph. What would you share? What's that advice that you give to them?
as my mother always said, sister, no matter what you go through, keep on moving. When I was really heavy with some issues, I went to my mother late into the night. And for some reason, mother had that door open. I don't know why that front door was open when I'm coming up into the driveway late at night. And when I got to the front door, and I saw mother sitting there in the door, she said, sister, for some reason, I knew you were coming. And I said, Mom, I can't take it anymore. I'm this, I'm that. Mama pulled back as I was hugging her. And she said, sister, what makes you think you're too good for trouble? That response has kept me going, no matter what comes. Because trouble, sooner or later, is gonna rise. And she said it in such a gentle way. It was a early Sunday morning, late Saturday night. I went back home, got my children up, fed them, and we went to Sunday school. And just that little phrase, what makes you think you're too good for trouble, has kept me going regardless to what happens. And what has happened, it has pushed me forward.
Wow. So we talked a
So I
little
pass that on to the next generation.
That is so
Don't
rich.
ever
Thank
think you're too good for trouble.
Yeah.
Jesus suffered. That's what she said. Jesus
I was
suffered.
gonna say that's as they would say in church. That'll preach, okay? That'll preach. That'll preach. That right there, we could just take that and just ride that.
Oh my goodness! But just that statement has kept me moving.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's too good.
When I want to quit and
just kind of
throw it all away.
Like that.
But that's true.
Yeah, that is so true. I think just from our experience here on this continent, has been that, right? And so, but there's so many stories of triumph as well from your family, and learning today a lot more about your family and the close to 100 years. That's to be documented. We need to go back and let the records show, right? And kind of walk through that. So you guys have. Let me just kind of walk through how many locations do you have, and just make sure, because I don't think people know about all the growth that you have, and that you and your daughter are sort of monitoring now for the next generation. Like, so how many locations?
Well, I might say that this is the main location.
Okay.
This is where the locals eat.
Okay.
This is where the locals eat. Of course, we have the food hall downtown that opened not too long ago.
So 5th and Broadway.
On 5th and Broadway, right next to the African American Music Museum. And we have one coming, hopefully, pretty soon on between 26th and 27th of Jefferson Street. We're trying to get back to the location where it started, near 28th and Jefferson. We got a couple of more payments on the land before we start building. So that's where most of the money is going right now. I've been asked, of course, to come all over the world. I might add that, all over the world. But to me, it's not all about franchising and of course about money. I'm more interested in the quality. And I might add, we have opened one in Greenville, South Carolina, my Mayberry town. I love Mayberry towns. The little small towns, little homey towns. So that has been over a year now that one has been open in the back of the city hall down there in Greenville, South Carolina. And we send supplies down there every week. But This chicken has gone all over the world. It has been flown all over the world, even Saudi Arabia.
Wow. They like it
So-
hot there too.
Oh, well, have mercy. And I'm just so grateful. And people come from all over the world here, all over the world. And so I can't say enough, but thank you. That's all I can say. I'm grateful. And it has gotten a few bills paid, but those bills also come every day.
Yep.
Every day. So I'm most grateful to my beautiful, beautiful customers. They come when when I'm down and when the chicken ain't good, and they come when it's good. Hey, they just keep on coming. And more young children, more little children. I have a 2-year-old. Well, he's 6 or 7 now, Aiden. He has been coming here twice a week.
Wow.
His mother brings me, evidently she must have eaten it while she was expecting him, which I don't recommend. But he doesn't like any plain chicken. He has to have some spice. And he just walks in here just like he's a drum major and comes and gets his chicken twice a week. And he is such a beautiful person. He is. He's such a beautiful person. And he gives me so much inspiration. But more young people are eating it for some reason. But I always ask, get your doctor's permission to eat this chicken. I don't want to hurt you. And people come here for their ulcers. But I might add, more women eat it hot than men.
Oh, that's an interesting.
That's that
little-
thigh in us.
Okay.
That thigh
It is,
in us.
it is.
But that is what surprised me. That more women eat hot chicken and maintain it. They eat it the hottest. Men will try it, but they'll come on down off of it.
Right.
But hey, that's so amazing to me. But this has been a journey, and I'm still on this journey. Have mercy.
That's right. That's right. One last question. What happens when you pull the car up and you see the marquee that says Princess? What is that?
I look at that sign every day, and it's unbelievable. Somebody sent me a picture, or sent my daughter a picture. When we first opened this place, they took a picture. Evidently, they must have taken it from across the street because it was the prettiest rainbow. And the building is in the center over Prince Hot Chicken.
Okay.
And it was real. I couldn't believe it. It was it's so real. I couldn't believe it. But the rainbow, and it's still unbelievable. I relive it every day I come. We are closed on Sundays, matter of fact. But except downtown at the food hall, But it's so surreal.
So before we close out, I think we've learned a lot about Princess Chicken and learned a lot about you as well. But I had a couple other things that I noticed from just walking around. And so I had a couple questions that I wanted to ask for just personal reasons. So who's your favorite artist? It could be any genre. I know you have pictures of saxophonists and singers and things like that. So who's your favorite? Okay.
Everybody that eats my chicken is my favorite.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I can't name just not one.
Okay.
But there have been plenty of celebrities that
Okay.
come here.
Okay.
And one that comes quite often is Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay. Okay.
He is so humble and so giving. He came not too long ago, and he'll call you at the last minute. I'll be there. The last time he called, a couple of weeks ago, 3 3 weeks ago, matter of fact. He called, and I was on my way to a funeral. And he called a little after 12. And on my way out the door, and he said, I'll be at your place at 2 o'clock. He was here at 2 o'clock. He's a long-time person.
He's on time.
And he bought his 7 bodyguards. They always eat right there,
Okay.
right there.
Right there, okay.
He said, I'm paying for everybody until I say stop. He's beautiful,
Okay.
absolutely beautiful. But there have been plenty here, and I don't want
Pick
to
one.
forget
Okay.
to not recognize all
That's
of, I mean, you know, one in particular, because they definitely helped me with my bills.
There you go. There you go. That's a great answer. That's a business answer, right? That is for those of us who are watching this. It's like that's a business
I
answer.
pinpointed that was
That's
Shaquille
right.
O'Neal. He comes so consistently.
Okay. What's your
He
favorite
is.
color?
I was going to say,
Okay.
it looks like
This was my mother's favorite color.
Okay,
She
okay.
always looked so radiant in red, and red brings you out, you know. So, of course, red, and I might say brown. I wear a lot of browns.
You wear a lot of
Have mercy.
Okay.
Thank you. I thank you all for extending this recognition to me. I'm most grateful.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
we are grateful today to sort of have this opportunity, the Changemakers, to be able to share this information and meet this wonderful lady who has a legacy of our family that we're still learning, and we still needs to be researched. There needs to be a book. There needs to be a movie. So those of you who are out here in the creative community, you all can take this. We gave this to you. And
I
so-
thank you.
So we want to thank you so much. We also want to thank the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee and all the people there who have put this production together. Specifically, we want to note specifically Audra Cox, who is our liaison there at the Community Foundation, Kelly Warburg, who is over the communications. Also Morgan and all the people who are behind this and putting this together. We want to also thank our gracious host
Well, thank
and her
you.
entire family who have invited us in here to Prince's. This has been a blessing, and I know that all of you who have had a chance to hear this or see this will get the blessings that are coming from it. All the jewels she gave about running businesses, how to be successful. This has been a pleasure. So from myself, Lisa Swift-Young, and Kia Jarman, we want to say thank you for participating in today's Changemaker series. Welcome back. We'll have other series coming up pretty soon. So keep subscribe and like, follow us so that you'll get more and more history, not only of Nashville, some great women that we're going to highlight, and also men as well throughout Nashville and the rest of the country. Thank you for joining us.
And let's not forget our website.
And let's not forget our website,
blackgivingback.com.
So if you are still looking at our philanthropy specifically, blackgivingback.com, you can find out more about the site. You can subscribe. You can also donate to some of the nonprofits that we support as well, also the Black-led funds that are there. So blackgivingback.com. We'll look to see you soon.